Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Kol Mila, Adonai Yahweh, Pashem, Shamalak Yahushua, Pashem Kakadash, the bonus of the apostles, the Great Millstone, Peace, Citation, Hopeful, like Shalom. And, I made this title's video, Food Inflation is Changing This Year's Thanksgiving Plans. Something to that effect. But, anyway, saw this article, Spirit pretty much led this article to me, and I started seeing that pretty much like over time there was food shortages, and you had like supply chain shortages as well, and even during COVID-19, that pretty much was very drastic regarding how a lot of supply chains, let's just say there wasn't that much shipping for certain goods because the supply chain shortage, and there wasn't enough workers over time to pretty much like gain more imports and things of that nature and to export goods overseas. So COVID-19 was a big effect, had a major impact on that. And now we're in a post-COVID season where supposedly COVID is done, but it seemed like it still has some of its devastating effects, such as like, inflation. It's pretty much at its peak. It's on a whole nother level now. And this article was posted on November 24th, 2022. It says, with food inflation on the rise in the U.S., many Americans may be celebrating Thanksgiving a little differently this year. Just find out more here. Maintaining tradition, consumers across the U.S. may be hoping to celebrate Thanksgiving this year with an array of food, including turkey, bread, stuffing, potatoes, cranberries, and pumpkin pie. But with food inflation on the rise, families could be forced to rethink their holiday menu offerings. This year, Thanksgiving is being celebrated on the 24th November 2022. It is a national holiday that is celebrated in the U.S., as well as Canada, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Liberia. The celebrated meal is thought to be modeled on a 1621 harvest feast eaten by the English colonists, pilgrims of Plymouth, and the Wampanoag people. Let me see. Okay. Says traditionally turkey is the meat of choice on Thanksgiving, possibly because it reportedly plentiful in the 19th century, with one expert alleging that there were at least 10 million turkeys in America at the time of European contact, according to Britannica. However, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, has revealed that wholesale prices of frozen whole turkeys are on the rise. In 2021, the average price for a frozen whole turkey was $1.23 per pound. But according to a WASDE projection, this will increase to an average of $1.55 per pound in 2022. A popular alternative to turkey on Thanksgiving is chicken. However, the average price of this meat has also increased. Retail chicken prices are reportedly averaging at $4.31 in 2022, meaning they are $1 up from 2021, where the prices reportedly average at $3.41. Although potatoes are grown in most states in the U.S., the USDA revealed that potato production was 10% lower in 2021 than the average production of the previous 5 years. During the 2021 growing season, the U.S. experienced hot temperatures had an impact on growing conditions as a result of heat, shortage, rain, and cloud cover. Riveria noted that production yields decreased. Potatoes USA has said that potato retail sales, when compared to the same time frame a year ago, increased in dollar sales but decreased in volume sales between July 2021 to 2022, It also stated that consumer prices for potatoes increased by 10.5%, with retail dollar sales simultaneously increasing by 5.7%. Americans changed their plans. It isn't just Thanksgiving meal components that have been affected by food inflation. In fact, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, for all food increased 0.7% from September 2022 to October 2022, according to the USDA. What's more, the USDA has stated that food prices in October 2022 were 10.9% higher than in October 2021. To tackle steep food costs during economically challenging year, research by Daily Capital has revealed that 1 in 4 Americans plan on skipping Thanksgiving to save money. The research also claimed that more than 1/3 of Americans will have smaller dinners this Thanksgiving. 88% of Americans are cutting at least one dish from their holiday table in 2022 to cut costs. Although Thanksgiving is a holiday where people appreciate what they are grateful for, it is unlikely with food inflation that food inflation will be on their list, with some reportedly bypassing Thanksgiving altogether this year to save money and even more adapting their meal plans. It is possible that this year's celebration is going to be a little different from previous ones. Seems like they said on this article. I'll just bring out scriptures and Lord willing make this letter so edifying. And the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. And pretty much like the house of feasting is what the world is pretty much in. You know, they celebrate all these evil holidays, which have like some pagan origins to it. And they also not only celebrate those holidays, but they take part of those feasts. And the Lord is not pleased with those feasts. He tells you that in the book of Amos, the 5th chapter. You know, the only high holy days and feast days that he wants you to take part of is the ones that he tell you to do in the Bible, like the Passover, you know, like the Sabbath, pretty much, you know, feast of dedications, you know, and so forth. And basically you're trying to keep your customs to the best of your ability. That's what the Lord wants you to do on this side, to rehearse those righteous acts, you know. And this message is mainly going to, you know, our people, you know, these so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. But you know, only the elect will understand that. And pretty much you know, when it's coming to understanding the scriptures and stuff, that's who is meant to really understand it in the first place. It's not really meant for the whole nation of our people, because they're not going to get it. But other than that, you know, that's the mind state of these people in this world. They're just under that, you know, the feast of, you know, the house of feasting, and which is also the house of mirth as well. You know, and there's a saying that kind of goes like, you know, they say you laugh now and you cry later, you know, and they're not showing any sign of, you know, these people in this world not showing any sign of cries against the wickedness that goes on in this world. They're not trying to show any sign of dedication towards the Lord and this truth, you know. And that's the reason why the Lord's going to judge these people in this world, at least towards those who's trying to keep it, to make it right with the Lord, and the ones that's trying to do the works and stuff, that's actually trying to serve the Lord the best way they can, and, you know, however they can and when they can, you know, to the best of their ability. The Lord sees that, and he's going to, you know, put you, you know, in the house of feasting, because you're in the house of mourning as of right now, you know. And he's going to flip those tables. Yeah. And while everyone is mourning, and everyone is, you know, is crying, that's the time when the men of the Lord are gonna start feasting, and that's the time they're gonna start, honestly, having mirth, And it's another scripture I'd like to bring out as well, another precept. This is what the Lord said in Amos 5:21. He's talking about all the holidays that have a pagan origin to it, which would be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You know, people try to make some nice songs, and the Lord is not pleased with it. And he says, Amos 5:21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither I will regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. You know, because people don't really understand that when you take part of this Thanksgiving and has like an evil custom behind the cranberry sauce, the turkey, it all goes back to something sadistic and sinister, if you will. That's what it goes back to, you know, and it represents the slaughter of the Native Americans, you know, and it says, and people like to also eat pork on those holidays as well, which is an abominable type of animal to eat. It says, verse 23, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. So people think that playing the music and during these holidays is pleasing the Lord because it sounds good and it looks good and stuff, but nah. And the Lord also said, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. So the Lord is already telling you that from right there. He's not pleased with the, whatever pagan holidays that America always try to promote, and that they try to push out in the world. If it ain't got nothing to do with the high holy days in the scriptures, the Lord don't care about it. And that's pretty much how it is. And in Revelation chapter 6, verse 5 says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the... okay. Yeah. Let me continue with it. Heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and the power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Exactly. But mainly I want to explain the from the verse 5 down in verse 6. So that right there from verse 5 down to verse 6 is talking about like how hyperinflation, basically, that a day's wages would pretty much be, all you can buy to eat is like a loaf of bread from your day's wages. That's pretty much what it's boiling down to, because you don't see a lot of people like shopping for luxuries as they used to at one point. When you was younger, you was able to buy all this nice name brand clothing, buying all these nice designers and shit. And then, nowadays, with people just working, trying to make that money, trying to chase that bag, now it's like, they end up buying, not as much as they used to buy before. Because people are more concerned about buying food, having enough to eat for the week, than they are with buying clothes. Because that's pretty much what it is nowadays. And it's getting so bad to the point where you're starting to see people doing small petty crimes to even try to make ends meet. you know, and we're talking about people that work for a living as well, that are living like that, you know. And you've been seeing some people doing some credit card scams and things of that nature just so that they could have more money in their pockets, more money in their bank account, you know. And it's gonna get worse from there. And from that article alone, that's already telling you, like, people have to end up not having certain dishes that they like on Thanksgiving, and it's gonna be the same thing with Christmas. Some people are just skipping on Thanksgiving, you know, in total, just for the simple fact that they want to save money. So all these people putting up all these stupid decorations outside, all these dumb decorations in your homes, all that shit is just vanity. In the end of the day, that's a waste of money as it already is, because the Lord is not pleased with those holidays. You know, you could have dinners on every other day. You know, why there has to be the specific holiday for family to contact you, and for all type of family members that you haven't seen in a minute, for them to pretty much hit you up, see how you doing, for them to like have a big feast with you, you know, and I guess put certain differences aside and things of that nature, you know. And the same thing goes for Christmas as well. Yeah. And there's some bad news that the scriptures have, and you know, it's prophecy that you know, famines are coming. And during a famine, number one thing people are gonna be thinking about is the house of mirth and the house of feasting. They're gonna be thinking about mourning at the moment, you know, when they can't eat the same foods that they were you know, that they used to be eating at the time when they were in the house of mirth, you know. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. The Lord is already using Esau, the so-called white man, to pretty much bring about this famine. Yep. And very soon, when that CHIP, when that shit is fully implemented, that's when for you to take part of these holidays and actually buy whatever necessary things you need to celebrate these holidays, and for you to even work to make ends meet and make money, you have to take that CHIP. You know, that'll be the ultimate let's say temptation of how the Lord is going to really try these people that dwell on this earth. But that's pretty much all I want to get on that. You know, saw the article and I thought to bring it out through the spirit with these precepts. You know, tells you in 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 how the Lord is going to bring about the famine, and as well as I believe it's in 2nd Ezra the 6th chapter, how the storehouses will be empty, how that's already leading to food shortages. And you've seen that a lot during COVID-19, and even in post-COVID, you still see it to some extent. But that's already going to be a bad sign for, you know, the future. But with that, I hope I made a lesson edifying, that to give all glory, praise, and honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahweh Bashem Kadash, double honor to the apostle and Elsbury Millstone, peace, I teach and hope for elect, Yahweh Bashem Shabbat Bakashash, Shalak Yam Arawam Yam Waka Yam Wa Baba Shalom.